Welcome back, guys. I'm the Chronology Nut.
And I'm Judgment 915 from Sailor Moon Abridged.
We just finished talking about the gameplay of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Now we're going to talk about the story. So, let's give a general impression of the story. If you want to know the details, they're on my website. I talk about it in the blog. But overall, is this a good story? How does it compare to other stories in the series, other stories of the time? Where does this fit in?
Well, games for this particular time period didn't really have that deep or involved of a story. Most of the things that carry the actual game with the gameplay. I mean, if you look at games like Sonic the Hedgehog, a little rodent trying to destroy a dude who creates robots isn't really like the greatest story ever told. And I think it's the same kind of for particularly Symphony of the Night in the Castlevania series. I mean, granted, it's deeper than a lot of the platformers of the era. Having said that, it's not exactly an epic tale.
First of all, hedgehogs are insectivores. They're Erinacea-morphs.
Oh, whatever.
Second of all, I agree. Symphony of the Night is a pretty good story, especially considering that it's a 2D side-scroller, which didn't always have the deepest stories at the time, like you said. I think this game came out around the same time as Mega Man X4. Much better story than that. Now, I know you didn't play Rondo of Blood, but it's a direct sequel to Rondo of Blood. Also has a better story than that. At the same time, the story's not incredibly deep, but it does hold your interest. Personally, I could have gone for a couple more cutscenes to really flesh out Alucard and Richter and Maria, because unless you played the previous game, I did, so I don't know what your take on this is. I felt like I had a pretty good understanding of the characters, but if I hadn't played the previous game, I wouldn't really know who they are.
Throughout the course of the game, you get tidbits, and the characters are fleshed out a little bit, but it's the storyline is the way I feel is almost ancillary to the actual gameplay. I mean, the gameplay is so robust; it can stand up on its own. I mean, this could have been a story about like a pony trying to find its pony master inside this pony themed castle, and I still would have played it. Like ponies. But it's just because the gameplay is so fun. I didn't pay that close attention to the story, but being the huge exploration fanatic that I was, that's why I wanted to go for the 100% completion. Not because I wanted to get a different aspect of the story that for me would have made the game that much better. Just because I had so much fun with the gameplay, I didn't really mind doing all the stuff that would unlock the 200% final boss.
Although, you hit an interesting point. If you explore, you actually do get a lot more of the story.
Of course.
As a matter of fact, if you want to get the whole second half of the game, you have to explore and beat the mid-game boss in a special way. So exploration does reward people who are in this game seeking story. But I think that I speak for both of us when I say that our favorite part of the story was one of these optional exploration-based things where you encounter the succubus impersonating Alucard's mother, Lisa. What really made that scene for you?
For me, it really made the scene because it took Alucard from this. What's it? It's a Dhampir.
Dhampir, half vampire.
Half vampire, from this badass Dhampir, like unbeatable character, to a more human, like emotional person. Like this guy's mother, and this horrible creature is dredging up all these awful memories. How can you fight your own mother? And then she reveals herself, and and the fact that you could play through the entire game if you're one of these speed fanatics and just blow right past it, to me, it really is an homage to the really hardcore gamers that like to go in and find everything. And because that's more of the type of gamer I am, I relate to it because it really makes me happy to see game developers put in stuff that is not only for the casual player.
It's a nice reward, and I also especially like it because it gives Alucard a lot more depth. Now, as you probably know, Alucard is originally from Castlevania 3, came out for the Nintendo in 1990. Not exactly known for the deepest characters. But both with the scene with the succubus and the ending, Dracula treats Alucard so differently from the way he treats a Belmont. Even at the very beginning, when he has the conversation with Richter Belmont, we will destroy the Belmont family, I will hunt the Belmont family to the ends of the earth. Just no remorse, no pity whatsoever. When he meets Alucard, greetings, my son, I'm so happy to see you.
Yeah, it really takes Dracula for me from this generic bad guy hates the world, want to bring death on everything, to hey, maybe there's more justification for me to have these bad feelings towards the Belmont than they're the heroes of this game and they have a camera following them, and to be honest, you have to be pretty evil to treat your son badly.
And we see that Dracula's evil. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
But I think that you can really say that he still loves his son, and he still loved Lisa before she died.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an important distinction. And it also ties in with some of the other games in the series. Castlevania 3, obviously, Rondo of Blood, which is a direct sequel, but also Lament of Innocence. We first learn why Dracula became so twisted and evil.
And I think having a well-defined and, interesting villain, being that the villain is the entire driving force of the game, makes it more enjoyable to play.
Any final comments about the story?
It's not deep, but it serves its purpose well, and it's a great addition to a game. But I still feel that the gameplay is enough to carry the entire game.
All right. Those are our takes on the story, and we're going to take a quick break and come back with our impressions on the graphics, sound, music, the artistry.